Do you know what's the busiest tube station, or the quietest? Have you ever wondered how polluted is the air on the London Underground? Here are over 20 quick facts about the tube that you probably didn't know. The shortest distance between two stations on the London Underground is 250 meters, between Leicester Square and Covent Garden on the Piccadilly line. The trains on the Waterloo and City line never see the light of day. Paddington Tube Station consists of two different stations that are both called Paddington, but are not linked. What's more confusing is that these stations are 400 meters apart by foot, but over 20 kilometers apart by train. There are 5 tube stations named after pubs: Angel, Elephant and Castle, Manor House, Royal Oak and Swiss Cottage. Arsenal Tube Station is the only station named after a London football club. Canary Wharf Station is the busiest station to serve a single line. Down Street, one of many ghost stations of the London Underground, is the final resting place of Winston Churchill's wartime bath. Euston Station tested an air freshener called Madeline on the 23rd of March 2001. The goal was to make Underground smell nice, but the experiment was discontinued the next day when passengers complained about feeling sick. The Fleet Line was renamed before it even opened. Changing the name to the Jubilee Line cost £50,000. Queen Elizabeth II took her first ride on the tube as a teenager in 1939. The deepest part of the tube network is the Jubilee Line at Westminster Station, at 104 feet below sea level. But the deepest station below ground level is Hampstead on the Northern Line. During World War II, the Piccadilly Line was used to store the British Museum treasures. The Tube Roundel is the oldest corporate brand in the world. The designer of the iconic Underground map, Harry Beck, was inspired by an electrical circuit diagram. The Jubilee Line is the only one to connect with all the other tube lines. There's a station between Tottenham Court Road and Holborn called the British Museum, but it hasn't been used since 1932. In 1909, Selfridges campaigned to change the name of Bond Street Station to Selfridges, but that didn't work out. 90% of the tube stations are located north of the Thames. There are only 33 underground stations south of the river. Every week, the underground escalators travel the equivalent distance of twice around the world. The Victoria Line was going to be called the Viking Line because it connected Victoria Station to King's Cross. Another alternative name was the Walvic Line, based on Walthamstow and Victoria. If you hear an announcement on the tube calling for Mr. Sands,
"Will Inspector Sands please report to..."
That's a code phrase for a fire alarm or general emergency. What is the busiest tube station in London? London Underground handles up to 5 million passenger journeys every single day. At peak times, more than 500 trains are moving around London simultaneously. But have you ever wondered which stations are the busiest of all? Spoiler alert, some of the busiest stations are linked to major railway stations such as King's Cross St. Pancras, Victoria, or Waterloo, so I'm not including those in my list. Let's find out which tube stations deal with the most passengers that don't happen to be National Rail termini. Number 3, Canary Wharf. The station registered over 18 million entries in 2021, and the number got significantly bigger later on since the opening of the Elizabeth Line in 2022. Number 2, Bank and Monument. Around 19 million passengers traveled through Bank and Monument stations in a year. No surprise there. These stations serve 5 different lines in the DLR. And in case you're wondering, Transport for London counts Bank and Monument as one station. Number 1. This station serves 3 lines, but its location makes it extremely busy throughout the day, regardless of the peak times. With almost 33 million passengers annually, the busiest tube station is Oxford Circus. What is the quietest tube station in London Underground? It goes without saying that London Underground is very busy, even on weekends. But while some stations can be swarming all day long, the others can be dead quiet. To find out which stations are the quietest, we'll take the busiest day of the tube this year, April 20th, 2023, according to Transport for London. We'll then pick the top 3 stations with the least number of passengers tapping in and out. And there's a 4th bonus station at the end. Soon you'll see why. Number 3, Grange Hill. Located in Essex, this station saw only 1,482 entries and exits. Number 2, Chigwell. Situated right next to Grange Hill, this station saw only 1,177 people tapping in and out. Number 1, with only 616 journeys in one day, the quietest station of the London Underground is Roding Valley. But this list seems unfair as all 3 stations are beside each other. Let's see if the 4th quietest station is anywhere near. With a total of 2,068 taps in and out, the 4th station on our list is North Ealing. How busy is your nearest station? By the way, these are our new Metro hoodies, designed exclusively for urban stories. We have London Underground and New York Subway hoodies available in our online shop. How polluted is the air on the London Underground? As much as the tube is efficient for getting around London, people traveling on the tube are exposed to more air pollution than beside busy roads. Let's find out why this is the case and which lines and stations are more polluted than the others. The air pollution in the London Underground, and all the other metro systems worldwide really, is mainly made up of metal dust. The dust is generated as wheels, tracks, and brakes grind against one another, throwing up tiny, iron-rich particles. These particles can reach deep into your lungs and enter your bloodstream, affecting other organs. The older and deeper the metro system, the more polluted the air gets. London Underground is the oldest metro system in the world, so the air down here is far from clean. But some lines and stations are in a worse situation than the others. The deeper is the line, the worse is the air quality on it. This means the underground lines with the most polluted air are the Northern, Bakerloo, Jubilee, and Victoria. But which station is the most polluted? The research shows that some of the worst cases are Vauxhall, Finsbury Park, Pimlico, and Brixton. But the #1 station on this list, with 639 micrograms of iron-rich particles per square meter, that's 25 times higher than the European target limit, by the way, is Stockwell Station. Which line do you use most often? And if you'd like to know how London Underground compares to New York City subway, check out this video next.